Ready?
I wanna listen to video game music.
Changes.
Hello and welcome to Rhythm and Pixels, episode 39-6. We're your hosts. My name is Rob Nichols.
And I'm losing my perspicacity.
Every week we listen to great video game music, and then every month we bring it to you, the listeners. We listen to music from
Listen to goth.
Listen to what?
You were doing that, so I was like, I heard you start saying goth. Like, we listen to goth.
We listen to goth music from all
Kafka-esque eras.
all the black consoles, dark black consoles.
Genesis.
The Genesis.
Super Dark Tendo.
Yeah, I had a Nintendo.
Saturn.
I painted black.
Neptune.
I have Super Nintendo. I want to paint it black.
Honestly, it'd have been a better color choice. You wouldn't have that weird color shift.
And we're
that it would
only
have
playing
in the sun.
sad games that you just wouldn't understand.
I don't know. I feel like our audience is deep enough to understand.
Kaizo Super Mario Brothers.
Nope. I tried that one time. Never again.
Oh, did you?
They keep it.
That's
Yeah.
one of that to me. That's like the bullet hell of Mario Brothers.
No. Bullet hell
It's
has
all
logic and
it's all
reason.
memorization and.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
It's not even enjoy. Bullet hell, I at least feel like there's a pattern, like a rhyme and reason that you don't have to really remember. You can sometimes pick up the vibe of a bullet pattern and go, okay.
You can scramble through it.
Scramble
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
it. Kaizo Mario, once you get to the peak of Kaizo Mario,
Yeah.
it is literally, you have to remember the whole level.
Yeah.
So
That's true. Every moment of that level you gotta memorize.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
prefer-
it's like if you're gonna play that, you're going to be a speedrunner because otherwise you're not really gonna finish anything.
Yep,
Yeah.
I prefer reactionary elements where you still have to do some crazy stuff, and you might be able to get through by remembering it. But I like when the game can be done in such a way where, like, if you are skilled,
So
you can do it on your first try.
So here's something you got to add to the list. I want to be the guy.
No, I don't want to be the guy.
You
That's the
want to
point.
be the guy.
I have no desire
You
to be
gotta
the guy.
Gotta be the guy.
God,
Gotta be the guy.
why was that a thing?
I don't know, but I tried for a while. I tried to be the guy. I didn't get very far.
With that said, though, there was something diabolical with the fact that the guy was like, how about I just run through a level
Yeah.
and in the way that feels comfortable to me, and then intentionally put up obstructions every place I felt I needed to go.
The first stage told you everything, where it's like, oh, there's these trees with apples on it. And as you walk forward, the apples fall down and kill you. I'm like, okay, I guess apples will fall down and kill you. So you dodge the apples, and then you get above the trees. The apples fall up and kill you.
It's like, what did he want from me?
You're like, oh, I guess I learned something new. Everything kills you.
Gotta cross this pit. Nope, the apex of my jump at the exact point I would have to hit if I were leaping at the edge of the jump and getting the maximum height of the jump. There's a hidden block there, and it will make me fall.
Yeah.
Like, it was just bull crap.
There's some funny stuff. There's some funny stuff you can do with save states that was like intentional, where it's like you would intentionally die in certain places so you could backtrack where you couldn't be before.
And another thing that annoys me about that, luck doesn't even play a role in any of that nonsense.
No.
It's not skill. It's not luck. It's just memorization in the worst possible way.
Memorization and execution, which to me is rhythm games and bullet hell. Memorization and execution.
That is true to an extent. I feel like I've seen people play rhythm games, like the pros.
Well, that's true. The game. I mean, obviously, what I play is not memorization. I can't memorize a full-hour marathon, but it's pattern recognition.
That's muscle memory.
It's pattern recognition.
Yeah. And maybe that's what it is. What I'm thinking about too, like watching a person play a level 42 and popping for the first time.
Yeah.
And like
You
almost do it. Like, how did you do? I don't know. I just pulled it off.
Yeah, you play it something long enough, you can recognize it. Like piano players can read sheet music better as they do it longer and longer and longer. Anyway, that's a joke. Don't play I Want to Be the Guy. Don't be that guy.
Be someone else. Be someone who's enjoying having fun.
So 2 days ago, I said, what should our topic be? 2 days ago. And you said, I don't know, lucky.
No, I said luck be the luck of the gamer.
Yeah. There's the because
St. Patrick's
St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I almost called it the Irish Day.
Christ,
that's so dumb. Because last night we had this weird day that was almost 80 degrees outside. Or today it was snowing.
Yep.
And so I was like, we can't just stay inside. So we took the boy and we went out back to Brewworks to get pizza so we could just be outside.
It was a good thing to do.
Of course, all night long, the Dropkick Murphys are playing on the radio. And I was like, oh, that's right. It's St. Patrick's Day's coming up.
Oh, they already have the sound, the track was set up.
It was
for
already set up. Yeah, and me and Christy are like, I don't hate this. I don't mind
music.
this. Yeah,
They're a good band.
Yeah, there's good. So, they got me thinking about that, and so I went towards luck-based, mainly casino games, because I liked playing like blackjack and roulette, like that kind of dumb stuff on the NES and the Super Nintendo.
I'm not even sure. I guess I kind of have an idea of what I was going for. I was hitting different spectrums of what I think about when it comes to luck in certain games. And I was like, I'll just pick tracks from games where I picture a constant of luck factoring in for me. And then rambling about that. Because I can make any topic a nebulous topic.
I think that's the idea. You can just make it all however we want it to do in the end.
Oh, yeah.
But as long as we have a title for it. Yeah, sometimes we just need a title, and then we can just do it.
Slip, slop, sloopity-dop.
That's next month. Slip, slop, sloopity-dop. There was one game I ran into on the Game Boy. It was had a silly name. It was Lucky 7? No.
That's not a silly name. That's just Lucky 7.
It was an original Game Boy title, like not a Game Boy Color. But it was essentially like a block stacking game, but it was instead of blocks, they were cards, and you were trying to line up 5 cards in a row to be different poker hands.
Huh? It almost sounds like Poker Smash.
It was very similar, but it was slower paced, and again, it was on Game Boy, so it was only so many cards high and left and to the right. And I was like, oh, that's right, I played this a whole bunch. It was really cool. It was very different too. Like, there's not a lot like it. But the soundtrack, it was like they were trying to emulate a little bit of like Tetris, so it was all like. It was all classical music.
Instead of it was do.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of Tchaikovsky. So I was like, okay, this isn't going to work for the show. Not only is it Tchaikovsky,
it was like do.
Yeah, it wasn't even just like, oh, this is classical music on the Game Boy. It was classical music just like transposed, not really like done up with anything else. So it wasn't that interesting, but cool game though. I liked it. Anyway, I'm starting the music picks. I've got a few cool ones.
Could be anything.
It's gonna be this one. Okay, straight. I ended up with 2 Sega Saturn games. I don't know why. I didn't intend to.
Of all the systems, you found lucky games on the casino games, based on what you just said earlier.
Yes.
On the Saturn.
Yeah. So we're gonna listen to Virtual Casino, which it's just a bunch of casino games in a fully 3D world, which was a very big deal for us with the Sega Saturn. With fully 3D rendered women, which were like, they look like the Virtual Fighter characters with like the big triangle faces, which I'm sure was very like, woo!
It was the style at the time.
Yeah, very like risque at the time. But like looking at it, I'm like, this is very strange. Like, oh, look at the
It's like I'm actually gambling.
Look at the rectangles on that one. So this is a BGM 5. I actually the music rip didn't have titles, but I actually watched gameplay to figure out where it landed. So this is music for Blackjack, BGM 5 for Virtual Casino for the Sega Saturn, and we don't have any specific composers, just the studio. It's Joe Down Studio.
Joe Down.
Yeah, Joe Down.
You got to feel it. You got to feel it.
And we're back. This is You Forgot to Feel It.
Forgot.
This is the Blackjack music from Virtual Casino by Joe Down Studio. on the Sega Saturn. This has got a very, very cool soundtrack. I'm just into it. It's just it's so funny to me. Like, clearly, some of these samples are from like a sample collection or sample CD, like the vocal samples or just some generic thing. They did some kind of keyboard stuff, and then they made the fakest sounding saxophone trumpet synthesizer. It's so cheesy.
It covers the do though.
It's so good. Yeah. So again, if you're playing a casino game on your console, you're going to hear the same song loop for a while.
But you're not worried about that. You're worried about you need to got to feel it. And you're going to feel it as your wallet gets drained as you continue to fail at nailing a blackjack.
Yeah. There's a few songs that kind of end up like in this kind of jazzy hip-hop kind of world, but this is the one that really stuck out to me, that sounded less generic-y. Someone actually thought, like, I'm going to do like a weird saxophone solo and just stuck it in.
It's like, what if I was actually in a nightclub with an actual live band?
That's what it is. It does feel more like nightclub casino-y rather than just like generic casino.
You got to go to the casino to play
like
your card.
A lot of these, like Caesar's Palace and all those other like classic video games for casinos, were always like all about like, oh, there's like cash everywhere and it's a big party, right? And this game is like, no, it's chill. There's gonna be girls and you're gonna have a drink and you're gonna play blackjack.
The real casino vibe.
Yeah, maybe.
Only with a lot less desperation in the air.
Yeah, no, it's all desperation.
God, casinos are so
creepy. Yeah, I really dislike Las Vegas. Yeah.
I still want to go at least once in my life, but the more I hear people talk about, the less I want to make that like my vacation place.
Like I like the restaurants. The conference I go to is big, and I like that there's the space for it. You know, and it's interesting the scale of everything, but having to walk through the actual casinos to get to where you need to be, it's just a sad thing. It's just a sad thing. I don't like it. Like,
but it's the city
which
that
is
never
funny. Like,
sleeps.
everything looks like a video game, like a normal like a video game I would play on my phone now, because I think it's all the same developers. You know.
They run off the same principles.
And if I walk through and this was like, oh, this is just wall to wall like Pac-Man and Galaga, I'd be like, take my money. But because it's all like, no, you just press a button and maybe you win something back. I'm like, I don't want that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm sure there's a machine where you can press the button and Pac-Man will just eat a bunch of dots and then the screen will say, you lost.
Yeah, I could do that.
Ghost just eats you.
That's my experience playing Pac-Man anyway. I've never got good at that.
There you go. So the game just takes all the work out of it.
There you go, yeah. It
only costs you $20 to watch.
You pull a lever and just watch it go.
Yeah. It's like whack, 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 whack.
None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense to me. If you're into it, I don't mean to like, knock it.
I know. I get what would make a person be into it.
Yeah, people like it, but not me.
That's why. But I will play a video game version because if I lost $10, I have a heart attack.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy that a lot.
If I won $50, I'm going to wet myself with joy. But either way, I have to risk it to win it, and I don't want to risk it, which makes casinos very dangerous for me.
One of my favorite like Game Grumps moments, it's a pretty common one, but or famous one, is when you realize Aaron Hansen has a gambling addiction.
Like a legitimate one.
Maybe. The way he acts with these types of games, it was Dead or Alive beach volleyball, and he's playing this casino roulette game, and his reaction to this thing is so genuine when he finally lands enough money and he's going to go buy whatever swimsuit or whatever, and Dan says, wait a minute, I thought you had all the money from all that. What happened to all of it? He goes, I spent it all on gambling. It was such a genuine, like, kind of guilty, anyway, I love that kind of stuff. But in a video game, it's just, you may lose. Like, that's all that happens. Right?
Oh, you can reset your game unless the game soft locks you or auto saves you.
I had a PC poker game. It was like you play poker against like space aliens, but like they were all animated. It was pixely. It was on the old DOS game. But you could see if you paid attention to the characters, like they would shift their eyes back around. You can tell who was bluffing based on like how they reacted. And I really enjoyed that. That was it made it a little easy to play, but because of that element, it made it less just completely luck based.
See, I can appreciate something like that, but at the same time, sometimes it also just feels nice to be able to be like, I nailed it. I got that. Like,
yeah, it feels good. Like, it feels like you played the game rather than I just got the right cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like I used to do, well, I won't ramble because we got other tracks, but I do appreciate you covered the casino element.
Oh, good.
Which is kind of why I didn't pick any casino games. I was like, I bet Rob's going to do something casino.
You knew it. You knew it.
I did.
Yeah. Like, Rob's going to hear, oh, Lucky, he's got this.
He's got casinos.
As I walked away being like, oh, I could do that. I know exactly what I'm doing.
I was like...
you know what I know, what I'm going to do.
Like, I thought about bringing, like, Persona tracks in here because that was, like, the most obsessed I became with, like, a virtual game casino.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So, but I was like, nah, Rob will bring an RPG. I'm sorry, RPG. He'll bring a casino game, and then I'll reference Persona's Casino like I just did, which lets me tick the box.
Here's a game I did download and is on my list. It's Final Fantasy VII, like the original Final Fantasy VII. Wasn't there gambling in, like, the Golden Saucer thing?
No gambling, but it was mini games.
This
like,
is
there was snowboarding, there was the chocobo races.
That's where all that was, right?
Yeah, but there
Chocobo,
was no,
chocobo
like...
racing was like you're betting on the race, right?
I know you could bet, but at some point I know you could also race in it yourself.
Okay.
But I want to say you could also bet before racing yourself. But don't quote me on that. It's been a minute since I played that game.
Bet on yourself?
Yeah, bet on yourself when you race them. When you bring your own chocobo that you bred with genetic enhancements.
You did that in the game, right?
Not with the genetic enhancements. I made that part up. But you do breed
them,
chocobos.
right? Yeah, you breed them and try to get the best.
And I was obsessed with that.
Yeah, a lot of people were. It was a whole thing.
And then you finally won against Ruby Weapon, and they gave you a gold chocobo with the absolute worst racing stats.
But it was a gold chocobo.
Yeah. I was like, at this point, you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
You got the thing you needed.
Yeah, it was like playing in 10, playing Blitzball. And then finally getting to the end, getting the thing you needed, and be like, well, I got all these great players and all these great stats. I could keep... No. You got the thing you needed, get out.
Like, you earned what you wanted. Everything else is just for, air quotes, for fun.
That should have been more interesting. That could have been a hit. I think
turn-based sports.
I think they intended for that to be like, turn-based sports. Why not? Like, of course, that would be a huge thing. It's like football. Like American football is essentially turn-based sports, right?
Yeah. The problem is they didn't execute it properly.
No, yeah, they could have done it.
I would bet if they revisit it in the modern era, they could make it solid.
Yeah, but
they don't see the point.
Yeah, it's a harder sell. Okay, so what's your first track? If I'm going full on, like, on the nose casino games, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just going to go off of various elements of luck and games I played. So the first one I'm going to start with is from a game that's actually fairly recent. It's called Dice a Million, and the track title is called High Faces, composed by Countless Nights.
I like that.
Oh, you did?
Oh, this tickled all my spots.
There it is. See, I got it. First track was a banger.
This is good. This got me right away. I loved everything about this. The speed, the bass, just killer. And watching the gameplay.
Nothing like that.
No, big number roguelike. All I play is Balatro. This is like,
Oh, yeah. So,
put this on the phone and you won't see me for a week.
Oh, you'd love this game. Without a doubt. You would love this game. Like, I've had conversations with people over the years. Not many, because, Balatro's not that old. But when that game came out, I made it my game of the year that year. And people were like, why? Balatro doesn't deserve to be game of the year. These games deserve to be game. And they would name the typical big budget games. And I would say, every time, who cares? At the end of the day, Balatro was made with one guy. And he did it on a small budget. And he made something that was still so good that so many came for his crown since that game came out. The Balatro became a thing.
Yeah, it's that good. It's like, sure, these other games are great, but what are you playing? What are you really playing?
What are you playing? You're playing Balatro. And I stand by the belief personally that Dice A Million may be the best of the dice-based Balatro likes to come out. And this is a fairly new game, by the way. Full stop. Again, if you've played Balatro, then you already know the loop of this game. But basically, you need to make a certain amount of money, or earn a certain amount of points, rather, at the end of a period in time. And you earn these points by rolling dice. The dice have pips on them. Dice have a certain number of sides to them. And the dice have various abilities associated with them if you get them. And they behave in very cool ways. There's one die I remember having where you only get the bonus if the die lands in the box away from every other die. And if it lands next to things,
it's luck.
Nothing.
So it's like so you have the luck of the die roll, first of all, what it's going to land on.
Yep.
2, probably other luck parameters, like, if it rolls a 5, it does this, rolls a 4, it does that.
Mm-hmm.
And then more luck where it lands in the box.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
And then you have the modifiers associated, but in this game, there are rings you can wear on your fingers. And the rings are modifiers. The dice have the special properties. There's stamp elements that apply specifically to numbers on pips that you roll. There's a lot going on, and no matter how much you grok, though I'm sure somebody out there has probably cracked the game. It's like, okay, I've turned this from being luck to skill, 100% skill. But at my level of the game, it's still very much, even with all the determinism I want, the deterministic efforts I put in, there's still luck. This is a lucky game of rolling dice. It's insanity craps. That's what this game is. It's insanity craps.
Insanity craps.
I adore it. This is such a great game.
Funny.
And I would recommend this to anybody who liked Balatro even a little.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at this one, man. Yeah, this just watching this, I'm like, okay, he's rolling the dice, and it's like, okay, there's 2 6-sided dice that look kind of funky, and a 20-sided die, and something with spikes coming off the side.
Yep.
He rolls it once, I see a billion numbers pop up. This times this times this times this times this, and then the game's over, and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to play this.
You gotta get into that. Yeah, when you see the game hit a score gets so crazy that the numbers just stop properly accumulating on the screen. That's a gem.
That's the one.
So that's the one. Yeah, I feel like this would be a good track and game to start off my take on luck-based gaming.
100%. 100%. You ready to go back to On the Nose?
Let's get on the nose.
Let's get on the nose for y'all. We're going to, okay, here's one. More late era NES title, Casino Kid Part 2.
The second. The casinoing.
Casino Kid Jr.
Casino Kid Jr. man.
Trying to find his dad in the casino.
Poor kid.
Poor kid. This is the ending theme where he finds his dad.
And gets drawn into a life of gambling and crime.
Pay for his debts. This is music by Kenji Eno. Casino Kid, I think, is real. It's like RPG-ish elements around. There's like an overworld. You go from game to game, and but there's not much else to it.
Oh, so you don't transition between casinos. It's all in the one casino.
I think in this one, there's multiple casinos, but it's mainly in the same one, and you're just going from place to place.
Okay.
But let's check this one out. This is Casino Kid 2. This is the ending theme. This is music from Casino Kid 2 for the NES. This is the ending theme by Kenji Ino.
That sounds a lot lighter than I expected to be with those grim scenarios we were painting about this poor kid's quest continue.
Yeah, it was getting pretty dark. But no, this is a pretty good jam. Like the music in the game is actually pretty good, but gets on like the da 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 da. But then the ending theme is kind of pensive. Yeah. I like it a lot. It's got the kind of the drum hits. There's some kind of triangle tom-tom like you would hear in a Mega Man game going on with the bass drum. So I really like the rhythm with this. I don't know if anyone else who's into NES music catches this, but if there's a lot of sample-based sound in the music, then the sample-based sound can only be so loud, and it can never be, for however it is, it can never be louder than the actual sound chip that's playing the music. So all of the sound chip stuff, like the triangle and the square waves, get turned down so that it's at the same level as sampled sounds, and that's really, really apparent on like Tim Fallon music and like Skate or Die too. So like when you play music from these games and like, oh, Super Mario Brothers, it's like, it's loud and it's bright and it's all that, and then you keep the TV the same volume and then you put in Skate or Die 2 and suddenly everything's super quiet because they have to make it the same level. Anyway, that's stuff I clock when I'm listening to this kind of music. I put on Casino Kid too, and I'm like, oh, it's actually quieter because they leveled out all the sounds, which means they're doing more with the sound chip. So once I hear that, I'm like, okay, they're doing something different. They're doing something different, or at least they're doing something more with samples, and it's interesting.
And honestly, I would have never thought that. I just assumed it's the volume and it's whatever they want it to be. There is no element of we got to tone it down because we're doing more work.
There's just limitations to what they can do. Like the sampling is like it's only so many bits they can crunch it down to, so it can only be so loud, and they can only pitch it in so many different factors. So the music to Gimmick was like a puzzle piece. Like all the different bass sounds and everything. Like the guy, Masashi Kageyama, had to specifically fit the note structure that he could make from the samples to fit the note structure of the music he was creating, essentially on a keyboard synthesizer of like the square waves.
We gotta look to see what other. I don't think he did any other.
He didn't
games.
do much. He did like one other one, but Gimmick to me is like. It's like the pillar.
It's a masterpiece.
It is like on the mountaintop of NES music, you know.
I was starting to contemplate doing a tribute episode to him. I'll be a little late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's not much we could do. He did one game.
Yeah, there's not much except for maybe game or composers that were inspired by him, but like we'd have to know those composers.
Yeah, and they're not talking. Or if they are, we have to find their interviews.
Yeah, or find them. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So. But that would be
an all covers episode with people who played with Masashi Kageyama at MagFest.
Yeah, who saw him there? All right, there you go.
Did you see him there? You count.
All right, what's your next track? Let's get off the news.
All right, so I'm going to go into my next element of what I consider luck in games that I play. And this is going to come from a game where when you hear the title, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't, what the hell are you doing with your life? Get on this. This is from the game Slay the Spire, and the track title is Battle Trance, composed by Clark Aboud. welcome back. You're listening to Battle Trance from the game Slay the Spire, composed by Clark Aboud. And while many might say that there are a lot of other better tracks in this game, for some reason this is the one that most resonates with me, and the one I most frequently think about when Slay the Spire comes to mind. So, why am I thinking this when it comes to an episode regarding luck? Well, if you don't know, let me talk to you about a thing called deck builders. And the joy that comes in crafting a deck of cards that contain multiple cards that do different things, but ultimately may cohesively come together for 1 to 3 or so strategies, depending on what cards come up and when. So, obviously, there's pro strategies involving making so you can mine your entire deck in one turn or whatever, and that depends on the game as well. But no matter what strategies exist in the game, no matter how much control you get over the deck of cards, it still feels like a masterful work when you pull the cards you need at the time that you need them to pull off the strike you need to finish off an opponent before they strike you down or take damage that you don't want to have to heal on a subsequent battle. It's a exhilarating experience, and it's largely why I continue to play deck builders, whether they be physical or digital. They're probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, genres of games, alongside like worker placement or something. But I love deck building.
Yeah, I can get hooked on that kind of stuff, but I mean, I'm saying this being obsessed with Balatro, but like the deck building game style, like or adventuring game, or like board game style, gets me so frustrated, man. Like I did everything right, everything's where it should be. Didn't draw the card.
Didn't draw the card you wanted.
Too bad.
Yep. And it kills me. And I think the thing I find the most hilarious about this, which I never got good at, it ties into my hoarder nature, is that typically when it comes to a deck building game, of the collectible card games most notably, they usually say you have to have a deck that is consistent of a minimum of X number of cards. Now, most pros keep to that exact amount of cards. There is no maximum, only minimum.
Right. So that you're only going to draw what you need.
And only what you need, and you have a higher chance of drawing what you need. People like me, however, will go, I start with 40. Oh, cool, this new card has elves on it. I'll put that in my deck. Oh, this card lets me draw 2 cards, but then discard 3 cards. Okay, I'll draw that card.
Right.
And the next thing you know, my deck has 100 cards. I've maxed out the deck, and I'm being told you have to discard cards in order to make this a legal deck. But all these cards are my babies. Nothing can go. I can't decide. And just like that, I now put this game down and move on to the next deck building game where I start a brand new deck. It is a very strange habit. Like, somebody might be hearing this and going, Pernell, just create a new deck from scratch. And I'm telling you, that's too much work. I just want to keep adding to the default
Just keep
deck.
adding to it. Oh, that's funny.
It's such a weird habit.
So in Slay the Spire, you're not creating multiple decks. You're just keeping one and just keep adding to it or changing it?
Yeah, but the perk with something like this is that you won't live long enough to quote-unquote max out a deck. You're going to die or beat the game, and then you start over with another deck of cards.
Oh, I see.
That you pad on
so it's also roguelike. So you're either dying, learning more or whatever, and then going back through it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
It saves me the trouble of accumulation because I have to die at some point.
That's become more interesting to me.
Oh yeah, Slay the Spire is...
And why it makes more sense that there's like a tabletop version of this game now. Yeah.
And also worth noting is that just like how I referenced Balatro, creating Balatro-likes, I may be misremembering this, but I'm pretty confident that Slay the Spire, outside of something like, say, maybe Cold Set, is the first of the deck building roguelike genre of game, and then others spawned off of that. As in the idea of like, here are a bunch of routes, choose one to go down. Here's your character who plays off this deck of cards, and he fights these things with that deck of cards, and there's a shop that will allow him to get new cards or upgraded cards. I want to say Slay the Spire was the first to do that. I may be wrong, and if I am, someone can tell me. I'll blame the fact that I'm 58 years old. That's fine.
There's a lot out there, and there's a lot out there that we are not going to know about because there's so many games that didn't come out in the side of the world.
Oh yeah,
that we'll be aware of.
Well, I'll tell you now. If it was a game that didn't come out here, I'm just going to call. I'm not supposed to know that and let it be. If it came out in the States though, oh crap, I missed it.
That's information I'm not supposed to know.
Exactly. Keep it away. And also, I'm also not counting Baten Kaitos here either. So don't reference Baten Kaitos.
I won't ever.
Don't you dare.
Anyway, on that note, Pernell, luck, Pachinko.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of pachinko.
Is it Peggle?
No. It's now we're going back to the Sega Saturn. So this is pre-Peggle.
Leggle.
Proto-Peggle.
Leggle.
This is the Proto-Peggle. This is Ipatsu Gyakuden Gambling King no Michi, because of course
those are words.
I had the translation. I forgot what it was. There's lots of music in this game. There's maybe 4 or 5 like main tracks. They just play randomly. And it's a Saturn. It's Saturn like Red Book audio style, so it just plays start to finish. Plays another song. But there's so much happening on the screen. It's pachinko. You just drop a bunch of balls and hope something lands where you need it to go, and then I don't know. You trade it in for something. So here we go. More balls, essentially. So this is music by Masahito Miyamoto. This is the gameplay music, or one of the gameplay songs, and Ipatsu Gyakuden Gambling King no Michi.
That you are here to take this casino down. You got money and you're gonna double it more. It's casino time tonight. Save the family home tonight. You gotta make that choice. So what you do? That's just ridiculous.
This is all right. I'm gonna turn this down. I cannot believe I failed to hit the record button earlier in this song where you're like, gotta go to the casino, gotta save mom and dad.
This is the best game ever.
Oh my God.
How are there not more games where you are actively trying to save someone who's foreclosed on their mortgage by winning their money back at the casino?
That's funny. Oh my God, that's so funny. Anyway, that's music from a Sega Saturn pachinko game. Music by Masahito Miyamoto. The classic casino sounding.
It really did.
Yeah.
Rob made the comment where he was like, this is a classic casino track, but then he goes, and classic anime theme.
Yeah,
I was like, well, there's an anime theme. Got to talk about the anime now.
Oh man, I fell asleep and woke up in a magical world of casinos and pachinko. And somehow I'm the master of all of these things. I don't know.
And it would have this really lonely, like, I went to sleep and woke up and now I'm the masterful luck architect in the casino world and I have to save everyone from disaster.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one who can do it. I got to drop the balls in this machine.
Pretty much, like, that was honestly, by the way, one of my favorite, and I also believe one of the most stupid trends in anime, when someone just came up with the idea and said, let's just call the show what the plot is.
Oh, yeah, right. I was like, the isekai type show? But no, it's like the name of the show is just the weird plot of the show, right?
I woke up in a fantasy land where I have the worst luck stat, but I am also the greatest hero.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I first saw something like that, I didn't believe it, but I'm not going to watch it anyway, so I'm like, I'm sure it's something.
Oh, I mean, there's one I think the closest I came was like the one where he talked about I woke up in the isekai world as a vending machine or something like that.
As a vending machine.
Yeah, I watched like a couple episodes of that just to see what the heck they were going to do, and that was rough. But at the same time, I had to give them credit for the fact that they were able to still write this cohesive plot about a vending machine sitting next to a lake interacting with no one but itself for 2 episodes before an adventurer walks up and goes, wow, I'm thirsty. What's this thing here? It had to realize it didn't know what a vending machine because the world didn't have them. So it had to convince the adventurer to buy.
In a world of just hundreds of thousands of different animes and mangas and shows, and how are you going to stand out? Well, you know what?
A sentient vending machine is going to do the trick.
They're making anime like you and I make topics for this show.
We got to do an episode of this show. Episode 39-7.
All right, I think I can do like a 30-episode run of this. All right, it's a vending machine's the main character. Go.
I woke up one morning and realized I was in a podcast with a co-host, and we were good friends, and we have to figure out how to save the world with our music and banter.
That's right, yeah. And we did. comma, and we did.
And we did.
And we did, and we're great.
There's a show.
All right, what's your final track here?
Okay, so my next track comes from a pretty interesting game that I played years ago, and I still enjoy playing it to this very day. That game is called I Went to Sleep, Woke Up in a Random World where I was bouncing off the walls with a sword and a gun, and I had to slash monsters to defeat the big bad and save the day as well as my mom and dad.
I hate you. I started typing that.
The actual game is called Scourgebringer, and it's going to bring up my second to last aspect of gamer look, and that is from the track is called Fury, composed by Jonas Turner. Welcome back. You're listening to Fury from the game Scourgebringer, composed by Jonas Turner. Now, before I talk about this track proper, I want to touch base on the last thing we talked about regarding long titles. And I did come across what I remember to be the longest title in a game I'd ever come across. The game is called Mon Yu. Defeat monsters and gain strong weapons and armor. You may be defeated, but don't give up. Become stronger. I believe there will be a day when the heroes defeat the Devil King. That is the title of the game.
That was like someone's like, okay, here's the spot for the title, here's a spot for the description, and they actually put the description in the title.
It's like, wow, we should have put a character limit on this.
I can't change it anymore.
They should have put a character limit on that subtitle.
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't. Whatever. So, in regards to this game, why am I factoring this in?
First of all, having a pretty intense soundtrack. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, because this game is very brutal.
Love it.
This is the form of luck that I might not have the right title in for it, but I will refer to it as self-deterministic luck, in that it is very skill-based, heavily skill based. I mean, there are elements like the roguelike style where there's like shops you can go to that might have the items you hope to be able to buy at the store or whatever. Various elements that show up in rooms that randomly generate. But when the battle is actually happening, you're being bombarded with enemies and bullets and attacks from all around, and you have to react to all these things. What this usually results in is like near misses, very nice parries and dodges and strikes and counters and crits. And many of those things, you'll find yourself as the gamer playing and go, oh man, I got so lucky. I just dodged that bullet. It was coming at me and I just whooshed it. But the truth is, you did that. But you do also acknowledge there were factors that come into play beyond your control. But you can react to it and have the outcome that made you feel good, but you still know to refer to it as luck. Or maybe we just instinctively call it luck because you didn't expect to survive something like that, but you did. But I always appreciated playing video games that have high difficulty ceilings. And that, we always had these conversations like, Pernell, why do you like playing these hard games so much? And I'm like, that's a large part of why. That exhilarating feeling of feeling like you got through a gauntlet unscathed or battered and bruised but undefeated.
Right.
And you can regale all the times you got, air quotes, lucky.
Well, that's okay. I can't believe we got to the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, and we finally bring up the point that how I feel about luck, and I've heard this from other people too, is that it's just where preparation meets opportunity. Like maybe it feels lucky because you weren't expecting to do it, but that's because you've been preparing for it for a while without realizing it, and then I finally had the opportunity
to
and
apply
then it didn't feel like it was, Or in the games like this, maybe you didn't mean to press left, and you did press left, and you should have pressed left, and then you dodged whatever you had to. That just happens.
But like you've played fighting games like a 1v1 structure, right?
Oh my gosh!
And you're like, oh man, I got so lucky through that punch, and I just happened to duck at the right time.
I'll watch high-level Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike matches to this day on YouTube. I love watching it. And they'll be parrying, attacks, and I can do that too. But to a level where it's like I'm not going to be able to do it all the time. But there's the low parry where you're blocking like a sweep or like a wake up like jab, like crouching jab. And like if I ever do that, it was lucky because I was trying to duck. So I pressed down at just the right time. But then I watched some of these people do it and they are planning on it. They're waiting for it to happen. They're wasting all of their resources and opportunities just to do it. And that is definitely for me. I'm like, I got lucky, but it looks cool. But I'm watching these guys. I'm like, they did not.
They prepared.
They
knew what they were doing.
They've been practicing this for ages.
But then imagine they're in the background. That player's like, I got so lucky. But no one knows it because I'm technically good at the game.
Oh yeah, I've been playing this game since 1998. No, they've been playing this game and nothing else since 1998.
Making that money.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to turn this track down, and we're going to get into the part of the show we call the bonus round.
Bonus round.
The bonus round. This is where all the things we do during the music. Bonus round is where we play covers and remixes and arrangements on our theme. And I thought I'd pick another track that was a little bit longer, a little bit more,
bit more country,
with more instruments,
a little bit more rock and roll.
There were some games that had some lyrics, like some like pachinko style, or like there were some Sega games that were actually like classic properties brought into like a slot machine they made, like they do. And it was just the same music, or it was something else. It just wasn't interesting. So this is different. I was surprised I found this. This one is from Sim Casino for the PC.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Music by Jerry Martin. And this has a really cool soundtrack. Really, really cool soundtrack. This is called The Queen of Hearts. love this stuff. There's some music from Cowboy Bebop that's like this Jupiter Jazz, I think it was called.
Okay, I wouldn't know the specific track because I'm still that one guy in a million who's never seen the entirety of Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, it's not long. Put that on the list.
I don't have an anime section on the list.
Put it next to it.
Just watch Cowboy Bebop. They're actually talking about
and then watch Firefly.
Well, I have watched. What's the movie?
Serenity.
Serenity. I watched that, so I already know how Firefly ends.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, by the way, I'm trying to remember. I think the guy who did Cowboy Bebop also did Samurai Champloo, didn't he?
Yeah, Shinichiro Watanabe. He's
Apparently,
done a few things.
that's the next live action kick from Netflix.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, I never watched Champloo, but I know people love it. So
only thing I ever hear people mention with Champloo is the baseball episode. However, that played out.
I don't know. I do like his style of animation. It's very like energetic. I don't know. Everything's very kinetic. You know, nothing's really standing still all the time. Everyone's kind of has long limbs, and so they do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, I can appreciate that.
It looks nice.
My big problem is like every time I heard Watanabe, I keep thinking about Excel Saga, and then I realize they're very different Watanabes. So, and also
right.
that one show.
Who else knows about Excel Saga? I felt like I felt like that's an anime that was made as an in-joke just for us, and no one's ever else. I've never met anyone else who's ever seen it. Yeah.
Because I can't even talk to people about it because they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, he has a character who just dies every 2 seconds.
Yeah, they have she has a dog named Emergency Food.
She just carries the dog around.
Come on, Emergency Food, let's go. Anyway, this is music from Sim Casino, and it's exactly what you think. It's a sim game where you make a casino, and
you play with the Queen of Hearts.
And it's got some really cool hip-hoppy music, really cool like upbeat jazz music, really, really, really good stuff. But something about this super laid back, floating in space saxophone vibe is like, just does it for me. So
It's definitely good stuff.
just every track is like 10 minutes long.
But I forced Rob to experience that when he said the title of the track, I got stuck.
Juice, you were like, don't you know that song? And you started singing it again. I was like, I don't know that song. So I looked it up. It's Juice Newton. Juice Newton. Who? No, I don't know.
I never heard of Juice Newton in my life, but I know the song. Playing with the Queen of Hearts.
And so we listened to it. You know, Rob, you gotta hear the chorus. Once you hear the chorus, you'll know it. No, I don't.
Didn't know it.
I don't know it.
But I did, and I enjoyed listening to it.
And then in the Reddit thread where someone shared it, everyone's like, "Oh, this takes me back to playing San Andreas." So was that
maybe it was?
Was it a GTA game?
Someone said they played San Andreas.
Yeah, or maybe it takes them back to living in San Andreas.
No, I'm sure they were talking about San Andreas, probably the video game or something.
I know all the other ones was like, "Oh yeah, it takes me back to one of those."
Because one of the big gimmicks in the Grand Theft Auto games was the radio station.
Yeah, that's why I assumed. It wasn't like Metropolis Street Racer, where it was like all music made for the game. It's all music they licensed to play in the radio, right?
GTA San Andreas, Queen of Hearts. So it was on Legendado, the radio station Legendado.
Oh, wow.
Or was it K-Rose? Either way.
So when you stole a car in that game, was it a different radio station every time? And you could always change it back to what you wanted?
Change back and forth. Like, so different cars would play different stations,
right.
But you could always switch at your leisure.
So that's funny. So like, no, it wasn't always like go back to the station that you were listening to. It was always like, oh, this guy was listening to rock music.
So here's the thing. Fun fact, Rob. So
I stopped playing GTA when I went 3D. It's like I stopped playing Mario when I went 3D. It's just I just didn't.
I stopped at Vice City, not because I just didn't care anymore, but I just kind of fell off. Like my brother bought San Andreas, but I didn't, and I played 4 and 5.
Yeah, you did what you wanted. Yeah,
but I never got into the games for the stories or the committing of the crimes. I did weird stuff. With the mechanics available in the game, and I like listening to the radio stations while driving around town.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Long after playing Grand Theft Auto 1, I still listen to the radio stations on MP3s because the music was great.
That's cool.
And I bought the box set to the Vice City soundtrack when they released that because it was the first like big video game soundtrack you could buy in America on a physical disc set. So I bought that. Still have it, by the way. That is to say that when you made the comment about San Andreas, like, oh, it was definitely the game radio stations. There's no way it wasn't.
You never know. But let's move on here. It's getting a little late. What's your track?
So this is not from Juice Newton.
No.
But what if it were? What if it were, Rob? This actually comes back to a topic of luck that I would be remiss to not mention on an episode of this. This comes from Dragon Warrior 1, and it is a cover of the overworld theme from that game, covered by an artist that goes by the name of Hydrogene. Welcome back. You're listening to... No! Now you're listening to... What? Damn it. You're listening to the overworld theme metal remix or cover from the game Dragon Warrior 1. Yes, I intentionally said warrior, not quest. Covered by Hydrogene. So why would I mention this in regards to an episode about luck? Well, I specifically chose Dragon Warrior 1 because to me, it carried the epitome of the overall feeling that I'm describing, which is that RPGs carry elements of luck all across the board, whether something is straightforward and obvious as the luck stat on a character, right. At which point, until people were actually cracking the code on games, many of us didn't even know what the luck stat did in a game because it was the most intangible element that you could play with. But there's also aspects of, for example, in Dragon Warrior 1, when you would walk from one place to another and you're like crossing your fingers to not get into a random battle, because if the random battle was the wrong type of enemy, you might not be able to sustain the damage that it can inflict upon you, thereby killing you and make you lose half your gold or whatever. There's a great feeling to that. And also going one step too far in a region you're not prepared for and unluckily wandering into a marsh that has a monster that's way beyond your level.
This sounds very familiar.
Yes, like anybody who's played a classic RPG has to know this feeling. And though I do, as I gotten older, very much appreciate us getting into a world where random encounters are fading away. You can choose your battles more so, and things like this don't happen as much as they used to. I still sometimes yearn for that experience to come back, wandering too far into the world, fighting a monster I wasn't supposed to by accident because I just triggered a random encounter unexpectedly in a part that I thought was safe, but it actually wasn't. I love that so much. I love RPGs, something fierce, and I love all the elements of luck that play into them. So, again, I'd have been remiss to not mention an RPG in an episode related to luck.
That's another thing that comes to mind is that sometimes luck in any kind of these games helps create the story of the game too. Like the story of walking into those areas that you shouldn't have been in the first place and coming out and surviving. That's a fun story, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when we had turn-based critics. That was one of the most fun aspects of that was telling these fun stories about times we played RPGs and things like that happening.
Exactly.
It was a gem.
Well, for more information on the bonus round, please go to rhythmandpixels.com. We'll have links to all of the artists' SoundClouds, Bandcamps, links everywhere you can download and get the music and support these artists. Once again, thank you everyone for listening to the show. 39-6, Luck of the Gamers episode. It's not Irish music.
No, it is not.
It's a mixture of casino stuff and Pernell finding some really cool tracks.
And then that thing Pernell does.
Where I just, again, got stuck on the Sega Saturn. I don't know why. There's this generation of music between Sega CD and Sega Saturn where it's just, I really enjoy it.
A Saturn could use all the appreciation.
Well, if you'd like to get in contact with the show, send us an email.
rhythmandpixels@hotmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a topic suggestion or a game suggestion, or if you're in a band or a cover band or anything like that, we'd love to hear from you. And for more information about the show, for a full track listing from this episode and access to all of our episodes, go to the website
www.rhythmandpixels.com.
Also there are links to cool merch stuff like t-shirts and stuff like that. There's a link to our Discord where you can chat with us and with other listeners. We're all just sort of hanging out there. We have a cool, fun, happening Discord. Sometimes it's jokes and game-related stuff, and sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's just nice.
Sometimes I'm going to get deep with you. I'm going to get real with you.
Sometimes we're going to get mysterious and fake with you.
It's time to go. Time to get out of the Discord. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay on this Discord.
No, they totally can stay on that Discord. It's fun.
That's cool. All right. If you want to support the show, the best thing you can do is tell people about it, and or hear me out.
Mine.
Patreon.com/rhythmandpixels. As a member there, you have the knowledge.
By the way, Rob's becoming a pumpkin right
it's
now.
It's terrible.
So. He's like, words are coming out of my mouth.
You know what's happening in my head every time you say that? Don't waste any more time. No. Anyway, as becoming a member of our Patreon, you can sleep well with the knowledge that you're supporting one of your favorite video game music podcasts. Honestly, every dollar there goes back into the show, whether it's equipment, whether it's hosting. We're hosted by Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. They're excellent. They're some of the best podcast providers out there. They do a lot of work for you. They do a lot of the migration from server to server if you're coming off of another platform. And their content delivery is super duper fast. I really like them a lot. They have great customer service. Blueberry.com.
And they make a mighty fine pie, too.
It's a beautiful, beautiful blue pie.
That's right.
Anyway, as a member there, one of our paid members there, you get access to early episodes. You get access to some cool merchandise only through Patreon. I think there's some mugs, there's some stickers, there's some exclusive t-shirts. And we like to thank the members at the highest levels at the end of every episode. As I clear my throat, we'd like to thank Christopher Shenstrom. Thank you very much for supporting our show for as long as you have. Khalid, again, all the way out there in Germany, thank you so much for supporting our show. And that's it. The two of you, the rest of you, I'm going to thank you also.
You're about to say, what are you doing?
I'm going to stop there. Now, Alf Person, thank you very much. Kristen, GameFan44, Brian Pitt, Carlos, Kung Fu Carlito, host of the Heroes 3 podcast, a podcast about Asian cinema and Kung Fu movies. Cameron Worma, Steve Miller, Reinhard Selkova, David Taylor, Harold Howard, Taco, Justin Schneider, co-host of the XVGM radio podcast, Chris Weisner, a.k.a. Musashi219.
The wise guy.
See him on Twitch, twitch.com/Musashi219. Well, thanks to Rage Cage. Thank you, Enchilada Regol. Thank you, Martyrus, host of the VGM podcast. Zach Thornbach, Antmaster. Thank you to David Good, Kitty Sparks, Leslie Picadillo, and many more. Thank you all so much for supporting our little program. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm Pumpkin Man.
I am Pumpkin Man.
We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. My name is Rob Nichols.
You are also a pumpkin.
I am Rob Pumpkin Nichols.
The pumpkin,
We'll see you.
Remember, we live in an age where there's a lot of individualism, and I accomplished that. I did that. That goes around. I did this. Why can't you? And while it is perfectly reasonable to toot your own horn and acknowledge your own accomplishments and accolades, the luck element does, in fact, I still personally believe, come into play in regards to even our own accolades. I mean, Rob made the comment earlier, what I'm already forgetting the specific phrasing of, regarding skill meeting at the crossroads with opportunity.
Yeah, preparation meets opportunity.
There we go.
There you go. Now my voice is gone too.
But unfortunately, some people, for all the prep they may make, if they even have the opportunity to get that preparation or have the knowledge of the things to prep, don't get the opportunity to utilize that which they prepare for. And their lives may be a little more challenging than some others, or a lot more challenging, depending. So all that is to say, even if you're the most accomplished person, even if you kicked all of the butt in the world and you became a superstar success of a human being, do not let that be an opportunity or reason for you to disparage those who are less fortunate than you, who did not have the same opportunities as you, and did not have the same opportunity to prepare for some opportunities as you did. We're all stuck on this globe together. Why make it harder for other people or be mean to other people just because they didn't have what you had?